Coming up on the next episode. Good evening, YouTube. On a Wednesday, it is 5:52 in the PM now. What you see before you are the two switch panels, jack panels, whatever you want to call it, from the MFP. This is the one that goes, these are both low voltage ones, with the exception of this one here. And I'll explain what each one does, and that way you can understand a little bit better on how this is wired up. Now pay little attention to the black wires because they will all be commoned. That's all they are, is they will be eventually commoned together. And so let me explain this, how this comes in. Here is over here. Let me see if I can get everything in here. Not doing a real good job of it. Over here you'll see the, well, here is first the, what do you call it? I did put that on a platform. And that's going to be attached to that some way. I'm not sure yet how to do it. But this is the 3.3 voltage output from the buck converter. And this is where it goes to the little DMM connection. And like I said, I showed you that in the last video, I believe, that I had that powered up and it works fine. Now this is just a straight through connector here for the 9 volt. And it goes into and feeds the bar here on the top of these switches. And this in turn goes over to this one here and goes through this bullet connector and runs over and feeds these two switches. Now these are all common as far as the bus or the positive. And then on the bottom of the switches, each one of them has a connector which goes to a device that we're going to be let's see, where is it at? Is this it? Yeah, this is it here. Yeah, each one of them has a device or connector like this going from it that will power each thing on there. First off, these are the connectors, the banana plugs for the AC voltmeter. There will be no power going to them. They just connect to the voltmeter itself, and so I don't have leads on that yet. This is the double pole single throw switch. Or single pole, double throw, however you want to say it. Switch between the waveforms on the function generator from square wave, or sawtooth from sawtooth to sine wave, and that's what those are. And there's the output for the function generator, and here is the switch for the function generator. So this one here will go to the function generator. This is the one for the frequency counter. This is the input for the frequency counter. It will go to the input on the frequency counter itself. And this is the on-off switch for the frequency counter, which again, it goes to its own little connector there. Now on the other one, which we can see here, this is the output for the filament voltage. You have the, what do you call it, 6 and 12 volt outputs. The switch goes in here. Now it's over there and it's out of view, but it's wired into the transformer itself, and it will be attached once we're ready to fire this thing up. It just, the switch goes back through there, and that's all there is to that. This is the power for that filament transformer, and there is a one that connects down here. This one connects to the power itself. There's a bullet connector here. And that has the power on the other end from the filament transformer, and or from the AC. Yeah, from the AC. Goes through here, and there's a connector here. And I don't have the spade connector on it, but that's the one that goes over to power the variac on this side. And it's on the board also. It's kind of wired in as well, so it's a little bit hard to see, and so therefore I don't have that in there. So, well, I think I've got that backwards. That's actually the AC feed is the bottom one, and this is actually powering the transformer itself. This goes to power the transformer. The transformer is neutral to the terminal block, is where it's neutral to. All right, so on around that, these are the two switches for the scope and the LC tester. Now this one again is the hot side of the 9 volt low voltage connector, and it connects to each one of these switches, and then the bottom wires go to, this one goes to the scope to power the scope, and this one will go to the LC connector or LC tester to power it. And there's also going to be it's hard to see, but there's a thing for a LED in there for the LC tester. So we'll know when it's on. So that's that. Like I said, that's pretty much it for this part of it. And I want to get this all installed and wired up. And then once I get that done, we'll be just about ready to go. So very happy about the way it's going here, and I still have to mount my you can barely see it over the top there. The LC tester has to be mounted, and then I'm going to try to find a way of mounting that on top of that some way, so it can probably go around the other way like that. But probably just put a screw or something down through the top, because the top comes off pretty easily. Won't because I said that, but anyway. So that's that, and like I say, that's the way that's all going to go. So happy about that, very happy. And I haven't been working on this. I worked on it not yesterday, the day before yesterday, and then today I've worked on it. And like I said, I'm getting this ready to go, and I want to get this back into the place where it goes, start using it. And I am going to use the BDST for the signal tracer. I am not going to beat around the bush with that any longer. I'm going to go ahead and use that. It works just fine for most applications, and I think we'll go with it until something better comes along, and then we may tear it apart and redo it. But like I say, for now, that's the way it's going to be done. And I'm going to install the speaker into the end cap there and get it all wired up. That's what this, I don't know if I told you that, but that's what this one here is for, is to power that, and it will have another, it'll go to a switch on it for the on its panel. There'll be another panel here. So like I said, that's not going to be done right away. Like I said, it's just going to be getting this first part done, and then I'll concentrate on getting that done. So that's where I'm at, what I'm doing. And with that, now I also had an item come in the mail today I want to share with you. Let me set that up and bring you right back. Alright, back once more, and what you see in front of you is a vintage Ward's airline. I like to say that vintage word because that's what all eBay sellers use. Vintage. It is a vintage. It's probably from the 60s, maybe 70s. Not really sure, but it is a Ward's airline 5-band radio, and some of you guys that are got sharp eyes and good memories will maybe recognize this from I think it was about a year ago, back in June of 2020, I believe. I looked it up on the what do you call it, and well, I say what do you call it? I keep saying it on the list of videos I put up, and I believe it was around June when I put that up. But I bought 5, if you count them, 5 radios at once. And one of the radios was one just like this, and it is pretty much an exact copy. The only difference is it did not have the cover for the batteries, and which this one does have. And like I said, I don't know how easy it is to get off, but we'll take it off, and you'll see this one it even came with batteries. Can you believe that? And they worked. Couldn't believe it. Right there. Well, there you go. There's the batteries in there, and like I say, they are fairly good batteries, I guess, because the radio does work. I'm going to show you that in just a second. I'll put this back on if I can. I never can get these things back on the way they came off. Not really sure why, but I just can't do it. There they go. Alright, so that is back on. There's the side view. Again, the front view, it does have an earphone jack on this side. This was pretty much advertised as for parts or restoration, that type of thing. So, I didn't know basically if it was going to work or not. So I got it home, or got it, surprising thing was, when I got this, it was on. The batteries were in it, but the little battery door had lost the nut for the little slide thing that slides back and forth. There was a nut on that, and a little control for that, the little knob for it had popped off. But luckily, the knob was laying in the back. They had put this in a bag and then put it in with their shipping stuff and stuff like that. But the knob itself was in the bag. And I found when I got the radio out, I looked at I took the batteries out, and there was the nut for that in there. So I was able to put that back. I've got to tighten it up yet, but other than that, it is workable now. So that's good. Happy about that. So I did try this out again. I did find out it does work. Now that is 84 WHS out of Louisville. That's kind of amazing to me for this shop area. You can hear the static and the squealing noises and things like that. Probably the computer, if I had to guess what it was. So anyway, that works. Let's tune it down and see if we can find something else as well. There you go. There's the local. I think that's on. That static is on their end.
And the hit batsmen have been an issue.
That's
for
the
us as well.
local station, the Buzz.
We've played well in the games we've won. We've not done that. We've got some guys that have.
Earlier, I had a station over here, but I don't see it now. I was in the living room when I was testing this initially, so that's why I knew it worked. But that's the only thing that works.
Through 5 innings
is the AM. The rest of it, I think, if you listen to it when I switch this back and forth, seems to be an awful lot of scratchiness in that selector switch, and I could not hear anything else on any of the bands. So I think maybe cleaning the selector switch would be job number one. And yeah, I think they're having a little problem with their. It could even be the selector switch on AM now.
After the game was 11 strikeouts. You know, I don't think that he is. I think that 8 strikes people
I think that's some of their problems. But anyway, that does work. Like I said, the reason I bought it is because it matches the one I have. And then I went and did something stupid. I'm going to flash up a picture of something. And you can see this is another Ward's Airline 5-band radio. But this one's a little bit different. It has the tuning meter over on this side. It has the slide controls, and it's just a little bit different. I think it's a later model of this same radio because it has, I believe, the same red buttons here. By the way, this is a AFC, and I believe this might be a light, although it doesn't seem to do anything. I don't know if it does anything when it's on or not. Yep, there it is right there. I see it lighting up. I don't know how you can see that, but let's see if I can turn around. You can see it over in here. So that's what that is. And like I said, I was surprised that it worked as good as it did. I really didn't expect it to work at all. But it does not have the cord with it, so that's one bad thing. But I think I have some cords that'll fit these, and it's not a big deal one way or the other, but it's not a deal breaker. Anyway, the one that I'm flashing up the picture of, as you can, if you look at that, this guy had a make offer. I think he wanted, I'm going to say $20, around $20, $19.95, something like that. And he had a make offer, and I thought, well, I must offer half and see what he says. I offered $10 for it. He accepted. So that is on its way, and it will be here probably soon. I think he was in Michigan, so it shouldn't take too long to get here. But anyway, that's... I really hadn't planned, and I to be honest with you, when I said about making a mistake, I thought it was the same radio. I just happened to see Ward's Airline, 5-band radio, and I seen these two buttons, and I'm thinking, oh, that's the same radio. Well, it wasn't, and it's obviously got the, like I say, the tuning meter, and it's got the slide controls. It's the same radio. It's just different, updated cabinet, things like that. It's not really anything different. It's going to be the same exact radio. But anyway, that's coming, and so that'll be another fun project. But back onto the MFP. I want to get that done and get it up on the bench and usable. And again, that's my primary goal right now, is getting that functional and being able to use it. And then, like I say, we're going to test it out for a while and see how well it works. And you know, if it works out well, then I may consider taking it apart again, because I think it should come apart pretty easy. I mean, I've got everything connected with connectors that would need to be taken apart, and so, you know, we'll see. But first thing up for this is getting everything in it and testing out the DC power supply. And I'm going to do that with a load. I'm going to do that with a radio, I believe, probably the Packard Bell. I'm not really sure, and just find out if it will put out the necessary amperage that I need. I don't think there's much amperage needed for B+ on these radios. It should have a problem with that at all. So we're going to try it and see, and that's what we're going to do. So join me then for that. When we do that, that'll be fun. Everything I do is fun. You guys know that. So that's going to do me. You guys have a great, great day. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya.